Welcome, guys. Thank you for all tuning in and for all your support so far. And thank you if you've watched the Pendle series. We'd love to know what you think about it. Tonight, I'm joined by the two Dashing Dans, Gorgeous Gibbsy and Sexy Saz. Wow, guys, I was offering an intro.
It was an unexpected yet very much welcomed intro. Thank you very much.
I think it was pretty accurate, to be fair.
Yeah, I hope everyone's well. I can see there's quite a few in the chat already. I can see some names as Matthew, Joe, Tuck Norris, Claire, Christina, Gina, Kat. There's loads. There's loads already. Welcome, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you if you watched the show last night. Caravan.
100%. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And yeah, the episode last night, wow, what a hit. You know, kind of delving into what is such an epic story around Pendle. And of course, seeing what's happened already in the first week.
Stell, this one's for you.
Handsome Harry.
Thanks, Adi. I'm blushing already.
What's happening, guys? Massive thank you to all the My Haunted family who are tuning in. Over 100 tuned in already. Thank you all so much. We can't wait to delve into what's been happening recently. It has been a crazy start to 2025. And thank you all for being with us every step of the way so far. And it's all about to get even more exciting. But tonight, we want to chat to you all. We want to talk about Pendle Hill. We want to talk about the hotel, the manor, everything that's going on at the project, and also answer some of your questions. But we begin. Stell, I'm going to throw it back to you. My Haunted, Pendle Hill. I've got no words.
Well, as you know, it's been a dream of ours for so long to get a location in this area. And to be fair, Dan, you smashed it with finding this location. And we were all a little bit, we're super excited about getting in. And obviously, we've heard all the stories. We've heard what the previous people who occupied in there had to say. But then, you know, it's just delivering like we never expected. The voice phenomenon coming out of that building. And I think it's the first time I've seen Gibbsy actually worried about being in the place. And he doesn't want to be there on his own. And that's not like him.
The building, so strangely, this weekend, Friday, I went in there and it felt ominous walking in. It really did. I was like, so uneasy. Just, you know, going into the rooms in the dark. The dark's never fazed me in my life, but in that building, I was like, where's the light switch? And then we captured something incredible again on Friday night. Unnerving, but incredible. And then on Saturday, when I went up on Saturday, I went in and it didn't even feel like the same building, which is really, really strange. Like, I've never had that where the building feels like two different places at once. But yeah,
it has unnerved you, though, hasn't
I
it?
wouldn't stay there. I wouldn't be happy staying there on my own. You put me in the hotel on my own all night. Absolutely no bother. Wouldn't faze me. Woolton all, I would have felt a little bit like, but this place, Pendle Hill, I don't know if I'd last the full night there on my own.
Me and Dan certainly wouldn't.
Very important question.
Listen, you did me dirty there, Moss.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, if you've seen tonight's Pendle Hill exclusive episode on Patreon, Mr. Gibbs took a trip.
It's his fault. It's Harry's fault.
Nothing to do with me. That was a really sturdy chair, that.
It was your
Leave Owens would disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to have to buy you a new chair, aren't I, Gibbs?
I think it scared the guests.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big lad. We all know that. I bet that bang, if you're in the building investigating and I fall off a chair or the chair collapses, I bet that bang made them jump.
The bad thing is, I thought Gibbsy was my mate and he's put a claim in against me.
Dan Caravan, I'm going to throw this to you because you captured something really, really bizarre on two Philips recorders. Well, one of them in the Pendle room, and it's the sound of door latches overnight. I think it was 7 minutes past 3 in the morning. We'd all obviously left at about 1:30 with the guests. Just talk everyone through that moment.
That was really interesting. So we left these recorders there just because so much has come in kind of the form of EVPs and of course DVPs in this building. And when we checked these recorders to see waveforms immediately, got me excited. But this isn't the first time we've heard these latches go. This is seemingly a common thing at this location, which is really interesting. Why are we hearing these latches and what's causing it?
And more importantly, are you up to your neck in dolls again, Caravan?
Well, it's been a rough weekend, I'll put it that way.
I don't want to know where this is going.
I know. We've got some amazing people here in the chat. Jan Johnson says, the only investigators I trust 100%. Thank you so much. Susie says, can I do the Estes method on Thursday? Who's there Thursday?
Oh, who did we say?
It's you and Dan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, is it?
It's you and Dan. Good luck.
No, I'm going to survive, Saz.
Just us two.
So just whilst we're on Pendle, I don't know if it was me and Dan separately talking. I don't know if we did it in the group chat, but we've both agreed to do a 24-hour lockdown at Pendle, just me and Dan.
Ooh.
Yeah, but wait.
So I'm going to facilitate this from the car.
Oh, that wasn't... No, we've got to do it in the house, Dan. Come on.
This is quite an important question because it's actually one that got brought up in one of our team meetings recently. Would you ever consider letting the academy go to Pendle? No, and Saz is going to explain why.
Yeah, I think, again, I have explained to some guests that have been the fact that we don't know enough about the building yet. We don't know enough about the activity. We need to make sure that it isn't going to scar children, essentially, for life. Because the thing that happened Friday that you guys haven't heard yet, it really did make me question if I even wanted to go back up. So I don't think at this point, and the vibe I get from the building, I just don't think it would be a good idea. Obviously, we've got the next academy on the 1st of March. So Dan and I will be there with Ema for that one. We're really looking forward to it. The first one was brilliant, but I think right now, a hard no for Pendle for academy.
Yeah, I fully agree, Saz.
Yeah, it's very important that right now we sort of ease ourselves into that location. And the hotel has obviously been running for 3 years now. And the hotel is a very, very nice place and great for the academy. Some people don't really agree that kids should take part in investigations, and that's absolutely fine. But the way we see it is that it's done in a very friendly and safe environment. And I think it's important that we educate the next generation of paranormal enthusiasts and researchers and investigators to hopefully investigate in the right way. Very cool question here from Joe Love. While Van Man answers that, I have a question. Let me talk about you, Caravan. As the brand new location investigation is just getting started, are you going to be recording the weather changes along with increased activity? I presume Joe means like we currently do with the hotel and the manor. And obviously, for you guys who are just new to joining us, we do believe we may have found some sort of weird connection between rain and paranormal activity, something that would take quite a while to actually back up. But we have already started taking data analysis at Pendle Hill. Obviously, before we opened to the public, there was a long process of team investigations. I know Dan and Gibbsy have spent a lot of time there, just the two of them. Dan, have you found anything so far to recognize a pattern?
There's been no pattern so far, but you're absolutely right. You know, when it comes to temperatures, humidity, things like air pressures, even down as well. So something that we've kind of added more recently was actual tides as well. Obviously, we've got a river very close to the hotel in Chester. We've got bodies of water scattered all around the Pendle area. It'd be very interesting to see if that's having any effect as well.
Harry, can you put a floor plan of Pendle up for us to understand the geography? Are we able to do that?
At the moment, we've got no plans. We don't even know when the building was 100% built. So I'm guessing there's no floor plans, but I guess we could draw something up in the future.
I've got a rough sketch.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark, we can try and do that, and I certainly think we could do like maybe a film tour around or something like that for Patreon maybe, or maybe even YouTube, just to get out so everyone's aware of where everything is. Mr. Trey Bader, everybody.
Hello, Trey.
Hey.
It's Trey from My Haunted Manor USA. Sorry, Sal, go on.
What a handsome get. These guys are smashing it over there, adding new locations all the time. Big shout out to Jeff, Trey, and Daryl. They're doing so well over there. Love you loads, brother. I haven't spoke to you in a while.
Don't forget, guys, there is a huge announcement coming this spring for our USA side of the project. A fourth My Haunted location is on its way, and a second USA location. So we are all eagerly anticipating that big announcement, which will be coming around maybe late March, early April, and it is absolutely phenomenal. The boys are taking it West Coast, and for all our American fans and followers over there, we can't wait to bring you this location. Andy, who's running things at the hotel on Thursday, making the drive down through the day? Hopefully we'll get there in time for tea.
It's me.
Yay!
Putting a shift in the hotel.
Putting a shift in for the change. I managed to get a babysitter for the night, so I'm sorted for this Thursday.
So it really is just Dan at Pendle on
It's
Thursday.
just you and Dan at Pendle on Thursday. I mean, I'll come up for a few hours if you want, but then I'll have to go home because.
Please, Gibbsy, please.
I'm not sure I can say building.
Richard, just to make you aware, roommate doesn't open on Academy nights. Just to put that out there. Michelle Lever says the Academy was epic. Respect everything you do and why you do it. Thanks for the response, Saj. It was an epic night, wasn't it?
Do you know what? It was better than I could have imagined. The junior investigators there were unreal. You could tell they watched the show. There was a few Danny Mossisms in there with their investigation styles and techniques, which was so cute. But they were all so well behaved, so respectful. The volunteers that we had on the night did an incredible job. So they went around different rooms and there was a different volunteer in each room. So in room 4 with Kelly, they did a tech talk and she had all the tech out and they were learning all about that. It was just brilliant. We had such a laugh, but they also got quite a lot of interesting moments as well. So we couldn't have hoped for it to be any better. We can't wait for the next one.
Absolutely. Melissa says she watched the first episode at Pendle Hill. Might I say the narrator was amazing. I loved his historical storytelling. I'm mystified already. Mr. Simon Entwistle, everybody. We are blessed to have this guy on board. He is an absolute god when it comes to Pendle Hill. And for all you guys who come to stay at Pendle Hill on the lockdown nights, which are the last Saturday of every month, Simon is taking part in a live EVP experiment to try and see if we can prove a theory about when you talk about the paranormal activity in a location, does it actually spark something off? And he will be taking questions. He will be given an in-depth analysis into the Pendle Witch story, which is absolutely key to everything we're doing at this location. Pendle Hill, guys, is an absolute other ball game altogether, and we are so lucky to have this place. But let's delve into it now, because what has been happening over the last week is astonishing, and it really does sum up my haunted project, because this isn't the team capturing the evidence. It is the guests. It is the people who are booking in and spending time there, using their own equipment, doing their own sessions, and it's these guys that are actually capturing the evidence. And I have to mention here our good friend Rob Ellis, who he was there on the opening Saturday, and he left his H1 Zoom digital voice recorder in a section where the previous night the two girls, Jane and Adele, heard the baby sound coming out of that doorway. And what he captured was absolutely bizarre, but also quite disturbing as well. And he sent us the voice file the following day. And I don't think any of us could quite believe our ears. Stell, I'm going to come back to you with this, because it is that really, I'm going to do my best to try and replicate it here without looking like an absolute knob. Like it really weird.
It does sound like a cackle, though, doesn't it? And this is the beauty of this project, guys. We are able to use the footage that the guests have, but we've also got the cameras to back everything up, unlike any other project in the world. And that's why it's such, people say, why do you have so much activity? If there was cameras in every single location monitoring it 24/7, I guarantee they're going to get more stuff than what the people are there for an hour or two. It's inevitable to happen. So, I mean, the cackle, very strange. I don't know. I heard on the first night, we went up there, I was sitting with Saz in the living room, and we both just looked at each other and was like, and you don't want to say, because of all the history behind the place, is that a cackle? And it does sound like a woman cackling.
Yeah. And we've got the man here in the chat. Sorry, Saz, go on.
No, it's okay. We both looked at each other, and we sort of didn't want to say anything because it sounded so cliche what we heard, and it was literally like a woman cackling, and then it was like, oh, a witch, like, oh my god. But if you hear that, and you can't say it was a cow because that's what you heard. What's on the screen there about taking a voice recorder to Pendle. If you are coming to Pendle to investigate, you absolutely must bring something to record on, even if it's just your phone. I think I've been there for every investigation so far, and every serious bit of evidence that we have caught, or disturbing piece of evidence that we've caught, has been EVPs. So yeah, absolutely. Every single session you do at Pendle, please record it. And DVPs.
Yeah. Saz, do you want to just answer this question? I think he's slightly confused about overnight stays added for Pendle. Obviously, we already do them.
Yeah, so, is it Martin?
Yeah,
Martin. Hiya, Martin. So, yeah, once a month we are doing lockdowns at Pendle. It is going to be the last Saturday of every month. Now, the 3 that are up at the moment are fully booked. So I think Thursday this week we are going to put on 3 more lockdown dates, which will be shortly followed by then other Friday and Saturday dates throughout the next few months. So watch out Thursday. If you do want to get on a lockdown event and sleep over at the venue with the team, you need to be quick because the lockdowns went before anything else.
Yeah. This guy, Fizz Wizard, great name. What is the history of the building at Pendle and what made you choose it? So very briefly, without going into too much, the family who lived there were experiencing severe amounts of paranormal activity, which we have known about for quite a long time now. And we have been mithering to death to take over the property to run our investigations simply so we could research the paranormal, and it is the perfect place to be researching. And it is only over the last week which we have seen the extent of why the family have left. Now, Dan Caravan, I'm going to bring this to you because what we have noticed early on is a pattern emerging at My Haunted Pendle Hill with this audio phenomena. I'm just going to pass it to you to talk about that briefly.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really weird with the audio at Pendle because, I mean, first of all, one thing that we've all said here is we've all heard EVPs before, but they all seem to be what we would consider quite disturbing. They sound quite horrid. They sound almost negative. And I think that's a big thing that kind of, I guess, unnerves us as a team at Pendle. I mean, I'd love perhaps to share some of our voice notes, you know, maybe on a Patreon episode at some point where we've actually sent these and we've sent genuine concerns to each other. Like Gibbsy said the other day, can I drive to the hotel and you do Pendle? Because I don't want to go. I mean, it says it all, doesn't it? It really does. But we'd heard some noises when we were there in the very early days setting up, and it was really annoying because it just become a story. You know, we could say, oh, we've heard something, but we could never prove it. And then, of course, the very first night, we had Adele call in, and it was exactly what we'd all heard prior to this first investigation there.
Yeah, 100%, Dan, which is amazing because I think we even said to the guests, look, us telling you in the briefing that we have heard the sound of a child is just us giving you a story. We have no evidence to back it up, and then it happens right in front of two guests. That is the absolute epitome there of why we have 24/7 surveillance. This lady here, Paula Booth, what she has captured is simply one of the best things, but equally most disturbing things I think any of us have ever heard. She was there last Friday or Saturday, Gibbsy?
Friday night.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty here, isn't it? Because these are real guests coming into the chat here and proving to everybody that it is them that are capturing the evidence. And we're just there as a team to document it, basically. We hardly get involved in the investigations. We might do some group sessions now and again and different experiments, but it is the guests. It is your investigation. When you book on, you do your own thing, whatever techniques you want to do. We're just there to kind of just oversee the whole process and give our own opinions on what we think may be going on. But what this lady caught, Gibbsy, wow.
I had no words. I mean, I listened to it back. So she said, just listen to this. What do you? She asked me what I hear. So they obviously knew what they thought they'd heard. They asked me what I thought I heard, and I repeated it word for word exactly what they thought. It was that clear. I then asked her if I could plug it into my laptop so that I could extract the file to play it through a bigger speaker, which I shouldn't really have done in that building because that put me on edge even more playing it through a louder speaker. We then finished the night. I drove home and I sat in my living room at 3:00 in the morning, and my head was just blown. I just could not comprehend what I'd heard
until 7 a.m.
Yeah, I was up till 7 a.m. Sunday morning because it really was disturbing. There's no other way to describe it. It's unnerving. It's disturbing.
Because it was so intelligent as well.
And the intelligence of it really, like, you've got to ask yourself. I said, I think I did an interview with the two ladies, and I truly believe this. I think we've got to be really, really careful how we conduct investigations in that building to start off with, because what was captured on Friday night, the level of intelligence,
we don't know what we're dealing with.
We have no idea what's in that building, and I think we do have to tread really carefully.
Yeah. Tracy Gregson here, she backs that up as well. Saz and Dan, you were with me when this happened. That scurrying sound you heard in the control room, have you worked out what caused it? It sounded like a rat or a cat. We can guarantee it wasn't a rat or a cat.
No.
It remains a mystery.
But what you saw in that episode wasn't the only time it happened. We've had it happen, 3-4 times now, Dan?
Yes, yeah, we have. See, what I think it sounded like it kind of in person was almost like, I don't know, somewhat plasticky, like almost being shook. But as always, everyone kind of perceives audio differently. We looked around, and of course, there's only one entrance and exit to that room as well. And of course, we've looked in from the likes of like the corridor. We've got a camera out there, and we just couldn't see what exactly created that audio.
Harry, just going to pass this to you because obviously, for those who don't know, may not be aware, My Haunted Project was an idea that Harry had over 10 years ago. It was an idea that it sounds very simple, but it's not. Stel, I'm just going to pass it to you to talk about why you consider this way and this format of investigation to be the way forward.
So back in the day, I was a big paranormal fan, but always got really frustrated with the fact that everything that these TV shows were showing was always caught off camera, and you were relying on the host to tell their explanation and what just happened, and you never see it for real. And it was very few and far between when you'd see something happen on camera. So I purchased this building solely with the idea of putting these cameras in everywhere so I could document this footage and not feel like I was going batshit crazy, seeing things and then not being able to verify it. Now, this didn't happen to like 4 years ago. So 9 years of things and seeing these things, and I still wasn't able to like show the customers that came into the pub, listen, I'm not crazy. But these are the things I experience in here. But now I can actually show them evidence. And again, there's many a times that you may see something, or I think it was Ema who's on the bar downstairs. She saw 2 customers and her saw a shadow figure walking across the door. And unfortunately, the cameras didn't pick it up. So we're still using different cameras and trying to figure out what's the best way to capture these things. But in terms of poltergeist activity and any voice phenomenon, we're going to capture. And this is why it's a game changer, because although VAR in football is quite frowned upon in some ways, it also verifies situations that, might have been called a goal or a penalty or whatever. There's a bit more, you can see the replay back now, and it can be sorted out on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for an average viewer as well, it's probably important that we explain this because it could probably get a little bit confusing that paranormal activity in our locations isn't happening all of the time. There are long periods where absolutely nothing happens, but it does make you realize that without 24/7 surveillance and the amount of cameras covering every single angle, we wouldn't have a clue what was going on, and we'd miss so much. So when we take, I think there's around 3,000 hours worth a week of footage at the hotel, so My Haunted Hotel, that then gets condensed into, I don't know, maybe like a half an hour episode. So where it may look like, oh my God, this place is the most active place in the world, like there's things popping off everywhere, that's an entire week's worth of 24 cameras being put together into the space of half an hour. So believe me when I say that the hotel and Pendle and the Manor as well in America, there are hours and hours and hours, days that go by where absolutely nothing happens. But if it wasn't for the 24 cameras, we would just simply miss most of the stuff that we're experiencing. So it may seem like a simple idea, but it's absolutely genius. And I think it's what everyone wants to see in a paranormal show. And this brings me on now to My Haunted Hotel, the original My Haunted location, and a big fan favorite for many people. We are currently shooting for a brand new Amazon Prime documentary called My Haunted Project, which will begin this summer. And the first series is all about My Haunted Hotel, the history behind our 403-year-old coaching him.
Yeah.
And the decades and decades and decades of incredible reports that have come out of this building long before Harry owned it and long before we were ever involved, even before I was born. Not sure about Saz and Harry at this stage. She knew that was coming. However, what I do want to say is that you guys, when you come to watch this show on Amazon, you may have followed My Haunted Hotel on YouTube for the last 3 years. This is unlike anything you will have ever seen. It is a proper delve deep documentary which explores some of the most mind-blowing stuff you will ever see in a paranormal show. For fans of Uncanny on BBC, which we all are fans of Uncanny, this is like Uncanny with the investigation involved. And the other week we spoke to a nice lady who stayed in 1974. Saz and Gibson, I'm going to throw this to you. 1974, she experienced something that many people to this day experience. Talk to me about it.
I mean, that's even before I was born, Daniel. So
just before.
I mean, it's mind-blowing to know that she sat there and spoke about these experiences that she had in the 70s that we now still document today, that we can prove happen, week in, week out. I mean, that just blows my mind. It's not a case of Harry had this idea and then all of a sudden the activity started. He had this idea because of the activity, because of the book downstairs that has already got the accounts of people going back decades that used to stay there when it was a normal hotel. And that's where this came from. I mean, by all accounts, I wasn't there. I don't think that day, Danny, you spoke to her, didn't you? But she recited it like it was yesterday, the things that happened. It was that memorable to her.
It was amazing, that was. Just listening to her story from back then. And she actually stayed 2 nights, if I remember rightly. And she said the first night she'd heard quite a lot. And then she was going to complain. And she said, I didn't want to be that person to complain. And she said, and the second night I was up again. She said, I was banging on the wall, shouting, shush. Some of the reports, she said, are things that we've captured. It was very interesting as well because she isn't even familiar with the show, how it runs today. She was very surprised. That's the same. That looks different now. This is still the same. Absolutely. It's just mind-blowing.
I think with things like that, and probably what sold the whole thing to me is you always leave with more questions than answers. And it frustrates the life out of me.
That's the hook, isn't it?
That is absolutely the hook. That lady experienced those experiences all them years ago, and them same experiences are still capturing guests now, and that's opening a pathway for people that might not have ever been involved with the paranormal. And how long will that continue in that building? Will it just go? If that building stands forever, will that just continue happening forever and ever?
I agree, Gibbsy. I mean, I know you've said this as well, but I genuinely sometimes get home from a night at the hotel and I actually lie awake just so deep in thought about, what is going on? Am I listening to an invisible person walking down the corridor? It doesn't make sense. It's so bizarre.
You can't make sense of it. And I suppose that's our job, isn't it? Our job is to try and make sense of these things.
Yeah.
And will we ever fully understand the things that we encounter? And look, we're blessed to be in the positions that we're in, to have these buildings, to have these epic locations to do it in. But will we ever be able to give a definitive answer on what that is? I mean, I hope one day, between us all, I hope one day we find the key and we are like, bingo, we've got it. Because that ultimately, I don't know, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but that ultimately is my end goal, is that we figure out, actually, we have definitively proved that this is what this is, and then we can all sleep.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think, you know, some of us in here have been investigating for a very long time. We've tried every technique under the bus that you could possibly throw at a paranormal investigation. I have never ever seen a format that works as well as this. Now everyone has their own way of investigating, and that's absolutely brilliant. But the use of 24/7 surveillance and long-term investigation, and it is the long-term aspect that is key, because most people are not fortunate enough to have what we have, and we're very blessed here that we get to be at these locations for such a long period of time. Most people maybe only get 24 hours or 48 hours. Some people don't even go there for 6 hours. And to capture paranormal activity in that short, brief space of time is so rare. But what we have here is the ability to recognize patterns over prolonged periods, recognize dates, recognize weather systems, and all these aspects and scientific elements that we can really delve into. And that is why I believe this project works so well. Got a question here from Claire Boxall, who is running our fan group. And if any of you have not joined the My Haunted Project fan group on Facebook, please go over and do so. We pride ourselves on having one of the friendliest communities in the paranormal. Absolutely zero toxicity at all very friendly people who have become friends through it. So Claire asks here, Gibbsy, I think you're probably best to answer this. Will we see the return of live cameras?
Yes, is the simple answer. Yes, we will. We are pretty much there with the format. I just think with how busy we've been getting Pendle ready, and prime filming, basically everything that we've got going on, it was put on the back burner a little bit. But now that everything's, you know, running smoothly, Prime's being filmed, there's schedules for that, Pendle's up and running, we don't have to install cameras there anymore. Yes, live cameras will be coming back. I just need to get into the hotel. I haven't been at the hotel for a couple of weeks now, which I miss it. I miss the hotel. But
what are we laughing at?
People are saying you keep hearing stuff.
No, literally, I've heard 3 knocks on the window. Now, I've never heard knocks on the window in here before. And it's happening. So if anyone in the control room, on this window here, something's knocking on it. And I've heard it 3 times now.
That's where that 5p came from the other week.
Well,
back wall, yeah, behind you, Harry. Like,
it's that owl. It's that owl that keeps twitching.
Tooting. I don't know what it was.
In short, yes, the live cameras will be coming back. I will get on it ASAP, I promise you.
Dan Caravan, answer that one.
So I'm very close now with a couple of ideas. Me and Gibbsy need to sit down. A little bit like the lives, it went a bit chaotic, didn't it, Gibbsy, with getting everything ready. It was a very, you know, we've got to get this absolutely nailed. We have some prototypes that are ready. I think the big bit here is we need to really trial these, make sure that everything is absolutely perfect. There's so much equipment that's out there. I know many of you will have bought some. I am absolutely the same, where you will purchase equipment and you go, I don't like it. It doesn't work right. And a big thing for us is it's got to be absolutely spot on right from the get-go.
Yeah. I think
sorry, kids, go on.
Yeah, I think, Dan, maybe now that everything has settled down a bit and we're not trying to figure out which way to run cables, maybe one night this week we sit down and we try and sort a few things out, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, but it's looking really good. What is together so far, I think is going to be absolutely spot on.
Guys, it's very important when we talk about equipment, because there were a few comments earlier on in the live as well about can we offer advice on what voice recorders and things like that. Look, I think the most important thing when it comes to paranormal equipment is please don't invest in these big fancy gadgets that say they do all these things, like these fancy spirit boxes and what you're basically hearing is radio. Look, we're all very, very skeptical about equipment here at the project, and you can't go wrong with a simple video camera. Doesn't need to be night vision or anything like that, and a simple voice recorder. The woman that we were talking about earlier at Pendle caught that incredible thing on a 20 quid Amazon voice recorder. You might see us using H4Ns and H5s and all this, big expensive voice recorders, but you don't need that. The reason we use them is it's for specific things. And, I plug in Rode microphones to the H4N to make sure that we've got multi-mic systems going on. But, it gets very, very complicated. And there's a lot of kind of equipment out there that's being sold to do something that it doesn't really do. And that's what we're trying to do with the My Haunted technologies. We're trying to bring things back to basics and stuff that actually aids an investigation and is not there for the gimmicks, the flashy lights, the gadgets that you're seeing on every paranormal show going. I do have to agree with this comment here. Carol Peters, seriously, as well as being decent people, utterly head screwed on and straight about the paranormal. She's talking about the My Haunted community. I have to say, we do have a very well-educated fan group of followers who know their stuff.
Do you know what else I've noticed? They can disagree with something with each other, and still it's just not an issue. They don't fall out. All hell doesn't break loose. They just have different opinions, and that's fine. And I love that.
Paradrama.
So you know what? Maybe it's the new word. It's para-family. Because it is. It's not a group. It's a family there. It really is.
What a caravan.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to cry in a minute.
Can someone find Dan Caravan's voice notes, please, and just play them to the world?
God. We need to
release his voice tonight. It sounds like he's got a lisp.
He sounds sexy. You leave him alone.
I'm going to sort him out then.
I know. It keeps going. It's driving me nuts.
Is it? Yeah, you've got a lisp tonight.
Danny likes it when he's got a sore throat. He always says he's
sexy. Right, bear with me, guys, because I'm just going through loads of comments. This one, Harry. We know the one in America.
Yeah, we've more or less sorted this out. Well, the guys in America have sorted it out. I think it'll be March or something. Maybe we'd be telling everyone.
So, yeah.
And then obviously we've got to get Pendle 100% sorted in terms of how it's run. It's not the easiest location to run with it. We've had to buy a 4x4 to take people up the hill. It's so difficult in a normal car, and if it was raining or snow, which is there quite often, we're not going to get up in a normal car. So we've got to sort out the logistics of that. And then we've got one or two that we're looking at the moment. So, yeah, we'll keep you posted with all that, guys. And hopefully we will be getting them all over Great Britain. That's the aim, isn't it, boys and girl?
It's all right. I mean, just boys, isn't it? Otherwise,
I say boys, and then Saz is the one who does all the work for it.
Melissa Phantasma here is actually one of our helpers at My Haunted Manor USA. So, Melissa, from all of us, massive, massive thank you for all the work you're doing at the Manor. She did say earlier, and I forgot to pull up the comment, that when we go back to talking about 24/7 surveillance, Trey actually sent me the footage of this. They captured something insane at the Manor over the weekend, which sounds like something smashing through the attic roof, and they've caught it on 2 cameras. and a couple of guests witness it firsthand. It's absolutely insane. Sue, who is one of our regulars at the hotel, she's been with us from the very beginning. She actually flew out to America over the weekend to go and investigate. And I know there's people in the chat here. Bob and Lynn Peters have been. Sue and Sarah Hughes. And I think Kelly Mann's mum and dad went as well. So, I mean, guys, if you do get a chance to go and check out My Haunted Manor USA in Pennsylvania, it is a hell of a location. This time last year, we had just opened it. And since then, there has been some astonishing stuff. Catch up with the latest episodes here on YouTube. They've just started their series 2 with the dig into the basement after receiving GPR hits there. Beth Robinson, Feral herself.
Feral.
She's famous after that video that I've put on my Facebook of her falling off the bed in room 3.
I think we show everybody.
With these two, it's brilliant.
I do you know what? Though? I agree with that statement massively. Like I when I first started investigating, I bought loads of equipment, spent a shed load of money, and now I barely get anything out of my kit bag.
I agree with you there so much, especially at the hotel.
At the hotel, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's audible and visual, 90% of the time.
What's Harry laughing at?
I just miss you getting stuff out your kit bag.
I'll do a special appearance with my kit bag for you, Harry.
Thank you, mate.
Leah Ward asks, are we on camp beds in Pendle, or can we choose the room we're going to stay? Yes, you're on camp beds. Can they choose the room?
It's depending on what groups they come in, and then so say there's a group of 5 of them all want to stay together. That would make sense for them to be in room 3 because it's the biggest room.
Room 2,
because then if there's just 2 of them, then maybe room 4. So you can, but obviously will sort of help facilitate that.
Guys, we're going to take some last questions over the next 10 minutes or so before we start wrapping up. Big one, because we did receive a comment today about My Haunted Mill as well, which obviously fell through months and months and months ago. But we still are getting asked questions about Woolton Hall. Stell, I'm going to throw this to you.
Yeah, I remember meeting you guys. It was actually a pleasure to meet you. I did get Woolton Hall. We had the keys. Unfortunately, the council weren't allowing us to carry on with what we were doing. They wanted tens of thousands of pounds to safeguard the place. Each time we were there, we were coming into another break-in. That's nothing to do with Liverpool. I just think it's been a hotspot for like urban explorers and stuff for so long. So, the project's all about having 24/7 cameras, and I wouldn't feel safe spending 10, 15,000 on cameras and then coming in one day and they've all been ripped down, basically. It's an unbelievable location, hampered a bit by pigeons everywhere because we couldn't verify whether things were actually legitimately paranormal or it was just shed loads of pigeons flying about. It didn't seem feasible ever in the end. What's that, Dan?
You did the best debunk I'd ever seen with that pigeon.
It was doing it on command, though. It was a really clever pigeon. So, but as I said, I'm gutted about that location. It's always been a place I've always wanted, and the owners are amazing and get a lot of flack, and yet all they're trying to do is preserve it. But how are they meant to preserve it when there's people breaking in all the time? And once people are breaking in to do their own content, then there's kids going in. And we've all been there and done, been into places you're not meant to be in and, messed around in there. But, the council won't allow them to secure it because it's a grade 1 listed building. But at the same time, the council are okay allowing urban explorers in and just wrecking the place. And it's such a shame. But I said, I can't stress how nice them owners were, and I'm really gutted. It's such a shame because that building is awesome.
Yeah. Joe Love asks a really good question. I'm glad this got brought up because this is the beauty of what the Amazon show is going to be. So for everybody who wants the kind of outcome of My Haunted Hotel, the questions that everyone's dying to ask is about the sword and about what's behind the wall in room 5. We can confirm in the Amazon show, in the final episode of series 1, Dan Caravan himself, the old Caravici, will be going back into the attic with a long drill and an endoscopy camera and swirling it into that box. You're going balls deep into that box, Caravan.
100%. We are finding out once and for all. It's happening.
Can that be the YouTube show? Caravan goes balls deep into the box.
Nail.
Let's do it.
That's clickbait right there. Farah, oh, what a legend. We love this.
Yes.
Only if you wear your dinosaur costume, Farah.
Yep.
She did ask a question further up, but I mean, the chat's gone pretty nuts in here. Wants to know about team private bookings at Pendle Hill. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, we'd love to have Farah back. She's great. Really professional team when they're not in dinosaur costumes. But we love having you here, and it'd be great to have you in Pendle as well.
Yeah, Into the Shadows. Shout out.
Yeah.
100%. A what? What's a shaver blade drop?
I don't know.
Also, they used to have them in like the walls where basically you would just dispose of like razor blades forever. Apparently, it's quite a common find where you can find literally thousands of them behind a wall.
Why?
I assume it's like a hygiene thing, isn't it? Because like cutthroat razors cut you, and like now you get sharp boxes, don't you? So it's like an old-fashioned sharps box.
Oh, I know what you mean. Andy asks, are there any more excavations planned at the Manor? Yeah. So there were a couple of big hits in areas of the basement. We showed the 2 main hits over by the boiler system, where the GPR scanning found the anomalies. But there is another area of that basement where they're really interested in. So I think they may bring back the GPR guy and then dig. I don't, if Trey's still in the chat, maybe he can answer that. I'll pull up a comment if he replies, which is brilliant. The haunted narrative. I'm a team member of North Wales Paranormal. We're planning on going to Pendle Hill, hopefully next month. What should we expect? What is the activity like there? I have heard it's seriously haunted. I guess expect the unexpected, but don't expect activity. I don't think you should ever expect activity when you go in to one of our locations. There are many guests who go to our locations who unfortunately do not witness anything. And there will be people in this chat who will say that they've been in the hotel, they've been in the Manor, they've been in Pendle and not experienced anything at all. That is just the way the paranormal goes, unfortunately. But we try to put you in the best possible position to perhaps witness something. And we have eyes on all of the cameras. This one, we actually discussed this place, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a look.
Yeah.
Not big enough, really.
That was a problem. It wasn't big enough. Great location, though.
Yeah, really cool.
Absolutely. Guys, if anybody has any final questions... hang on.
I'm hearing the knocks again.
At least you know.
I've seen a question, Danny, and I want to ask you because it's your choice. Can Grace go to Pendle?
A holiday?
I mean, on holiday.
There.
Look what happened last
Who's
time she
driving
went
her
on
up there?
holiday.
Are you going to drive her up there, Dan?
That's a good shout, that, Harry. Yeah, who would drive her up there? Ugh.
So for you guys who don't know, the Grey Stall has been dormant for, over a year, I think. And the Kraken convention in London in October wanted to hire the item to display. So we had to obviously write all these disclaimers and contracts and make sure that everything was being done tastefully and respectfully, and that wasn't going to come out the box, essentially. During transport from the Kraken convention back to the hotel or the storage bit where it's being kept, there was a car accident. Could be sheer coincidence, but I mean, what are the chances, really? It's very, very weird. Look, there's a lot of skepticism over the Grey Stall. Totally understand it. I would be myself, to be completely honest. And I think the last big thing that I saw, which was so convincing with the Grey Stall, was what happened a couple of Octobers ago with the noises in room 8, and also when it moved in the box but lifted up, so it kind of defied gravity. I think there's a lot of people who will think that this will have a part to play in Pendle. I don't see how that will happen. It's just adding a distraction when a distraction doesn't need to be had. And I just think Pendle should be enjoyed for being Pendle and the incredible history around the place. I don't think we need to add this item into that. I know it would excite people, but it would just kind of make it all about the item rather than the location, in my opinion. I'm not sure what you guys think.
I asked you to move it around the hotel. I begged you to do that. And I hoped and prayed it stirred something up, and nothing happened. So, if we was to ever move it to Pendle, I'd quite happily drive it there. But I'm not that excited about moving it from the hotel to Pendle, as I would have been if it had stayed in room 8 the whole time, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I agree with you, actually, Danny. I think it's really important that we monitor the Pendle location and the activity that's already coming out of there, and not add any distractions, at least for the foreseeable anyway.
I think we need to understand the building more first, don't we? We don't want to introduce something to that building and then people are like, oh, that must be Grace, when we don't know. Well, we're seeing a certain pattern emerging there, aren't we? In the voice phenomena, but we don't want to add something in there that's going to mix up what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I agree. Susie asks how long the drive is from the Pendle Inn to location. It's about 8 minutes, would you say, Gibbsy?
About 5 if you're not in Harry's vehicle.
I think she's asking from this pub.
Oh, is she?
Not? Yeah, she's from Liverpool, Susie, isn't she? So if she's not in this pub anyway, Susie, I don't know, but it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And from the Pendle Inn up the hill is about 8 minutes, yeah.
And it's a bumpy ride.
And it is a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
I vote Dan Caravan for this.
100%. It's got his name written all over it.
Oh my God! I've just read the question. Wow.
I mean, would it not be more prudent to dress the female up as a witch?
But what if I've already got a cauldron?
Listen, Dan, I won't stop you, mate. You crack on.
I mean, I don't, but
I don't, but I bet he does. Dude, he'll find one. Tomorrow we'll get a message in the group, and
I've got one in the car.
Are you getting any more team members in the future? This is a good one because we've actually been talking about this behind closed doors. So, obviously, as we expand, guys, the project, we will need more events team on site. And some of you may have already met some of our incredible events team and people who are helping out. We had some incredible volunteers on the Academy night. We've got the guys from Into the Unknown who are kind of running and helping some of our events. And we've got Ema Screamer as well, who is a very recognizable face from My Haunted Hotel in the bar, working downstairs. So, I mean, as the project expands, the team will expand events-wise. In terms of the show-wise, I think the 5 people that are sat here now are the UK team, and then Daryl, Jeff, and Trey over in America are the US team, and kind of the face of the brand, if you like. But as with any successful paranormal show, there will always be people who feature in and out. So you've got the likes of Rowdy, who owns the Manor. You've got Spooky Cat, which great addition. And, you know, some of the amazing people who help out at the Manor, including like with all the history. We have Simon Entwistle, who is like another character for the Pendle. So you will see some recognizable faces all the time. And it's about bringing on the right people, the people who see our vision for what we have planned for My Haunted Project, because we're all sat here and we all see the potential that this has going forwards, because there is nothing else like this in the paranormal. It's never been done before. I don't think it will ever be done again, because what you may see here on YouTube and what you'll see on Amazon Prime doesn't show you the full picture of the intense amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. It is a absolute whirlwind of a job, this, having to deal with 24/7 paranormal investigation. And if it was all about the ghost hunting, it'd be happy days, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
It's just 24/7 Dan Caravan. He doesn't sleep. I was laughing at some of these comments in here because it's Andy Vaughan says, how does Danny feel about his new female fan base after the GTI live? And then Tuck Norris said he was getting a lot of love from GTI fans. I was getting screenshots of the chat and I said, I'm not telling him. I'm not telling him. But yeah, there was quite a few Danny fans in there. How do you feel about that, Massey?
Well, I am the stud of the paranormal, clearly. I can see a video coming out tomorrow about it.
Oh, God.
Oh, amazing.
I mean, Dan and Adam from GTI are 2 good-looking guys. I mean, let's be honest. And they had an incredible couple of nights at our locations. And then, of course, we've got Stell as well, who is got that Turkish smize going on.
Thanks, Dan.
Anyway,
Greek Cypriot.
Greek Cypriot.
Turkish, same thing.
Nothing against Turks, but I'm Greek Cypriot, not Turkish. I'm a bit Scouse, a bit of Welsh.
We just say it to wind him up.
Right, guys, we are going to be wrapping this in the next couple of minutes. We can't thank you all enough for being involved here tonight. We've had about 150 to 170 tuned in all night. And we have to thank you all so much because oh my God, I have to pull this up. Oh, hang on.
Thanks, Leah.
Has he crashed?
He's froze. Oh, no, he's back.
I thought he was just dead angry.
Yeah, I did. I thought, oh no.
So, guys, look, things to look forward to coming up. Very important information. My Haunted Academy, the next one at My Haunted Hotel is Saz on the 1st of March. Have I got that right?
Correct, yeah.
We have episode 2 of My Haunted Pendle Hill being filmed as of tomorrow and the weekend. And that will hopefully drop in the next couple of weeks. My Haunted Project, Amazon Prime documentary, season 1 coming at the beginning of summer, late spring, early summer. There'll be more updates to come on that. We're very busy with that. Dan Caravan is working on My Haunted technology as we speak. As soon as he gets off this live, he will be making Tesla coils and all sorts of stuff, trying not to blow up his house. And look, guys, we have 3 locations which are absolutely running to the best of their ability at the minute, and we could not be more excited. My Haunted Pendle Hill in Lancashire, My Haunted Manor USA, Pennsylvania, and My Haunted Hotel in Chester. This is going to be one hell of an exciting year for My Haunted Project, and we are feeling it. Absolutely feeling it. Harry Stelios Achilleos, tell me about how excited you are. Show me your excitement.
Woohoo! No, it's super exciting. What a year. I mean, this is going to be like, each year just keeps going, getting better and better. And so have this new location, Pendle's, been like a dream come true, as I said before. But again, thank you all for watching all of us. And I don't know why you do it sometimes, because Gibbsy's quite bored, and so is Dan. No, I'm only messing. I love you guys, but you are only messing. No, thank you so much, guys. Wouldn't be nothing without all of you. Don't know what to say now. I just put my foot in it. Sorry, Gibbsy. Me and Gibbsy have got a bromance going on, and he's looking flipping gutted now, aren't you?
Not anymore. We've not. You owe me. You owe me for a dodgy chair and that disgusting comment you just made.
I do apologise, buddy.
Dan Caravan, show me your excitement.
I am really excited. I mean, so much going on. And I get to open another spreadsheet for Pendle. I mean, that is the epitome of excitement. Let's be honest.
God, just when you think you can't love him anymore. Oh.
Caravan, you sound
It's
so sexy
absolutely
right
epic. It really is. And thank you as well to everyone for tuning in and supporting us all as well through, Patreon, YouTube, sharing everything. It is really appreciated. My voice is getting worse.
Caravan, when we're in filming tomorrow, can you just talk to me all day? You make my life complete.
I'll read a story.
Wow.
Gibbsy and Saz, you couple of sexuals.
Look, this year is going to be epic, isn't it? I mean, it's been a crazy start to the year. Absolutely 100 mile an hour on it, and we were pushed to the wire with Pendle. We absolutely was, but we opened it. There's a few tweaks needed, but we'll get there. I'm going to try and get up and do them tweaks ASAP. We'll get the live cameras up and running for everybody again from the hotel. In relation to live cameras at Pendle, please bear with on that. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a 400-year-old building. The 400-year-old building that we have in Chester has bad enough issues with Wi-Fi.
Oh. Sorry, Stel. Sorry. I had to.
He's married.
Yeah, I'm engaged, about to be married. But just on one thing, guys, I just want to thank this team. This team is so hard. I mean, unbelievably hard. Saz is doing like 16, 18-hour days trying to get everything sorted. Gibbsy's been at Pendle after he's finished his own job. The guy is shattered every night. He's hardly getting any sleep. Dan does everything. And then, obviously, big boy up there, Danny Moss, he's literally editing from 9 o'clock in the morning to God knows what hour at night time. He works tirelessly, and I am so blessed to have these guys in my life, and I want to just say thank you so much, and you deserve all the credit you get.
I feel a bit emotional.
Oh, thank you.
We have a good team.
I'll let you off your last comment now.
Guys, as always, thank you all so much. We have to give a big shout out to the My Haunted family out there. What an incredible fan base you really are. Again, I will say it and I will shout it loud from the rooftop. Best community in the paranormal, bar none. Absolutely amazing. Thank you all for your support. We will be back very soon on your screens doing weird stuff and fiddling with dolls. Guys, we will see all of you at our locations, hopefully, or as many of you as possible, and meet you in person, work with you, and do amazing things together. We love you all. Thank you on behalf of all of us, and we shall see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Guys, thank you.